Okay, for this lecture, we're going to talk about the cost-benefit analysis for transportations. There's four subtopic here is concept of cost-benefit analysis, the benefits of transportation project, the cost of transportation project, and the last one is number 4 is type of measure in cost of benefit and analysis. Okay, we go for the first subtopic is the concept of cost-benefit analysis. How to make a decision, bagaimana hendak membuat keputusan is the importance of CBA ataupun kepentingan cost benefit analysis. The cost benefit analysis will guide us to make decisions. Benefits is the impact of the pro, mana kata yang positif. The cost is a cost normally in dollar or assigning a wage. There is a cost. So the net benefit is equal benefit minus cost. Itu faedah bersih. Faedah tolak dengan cost. For example, here the individual benefits is on cost and on benefits because it's individual. Evaluate firm investment alternatives. The firm cost, for example, is expenditure, and the firm benefits is, for example, is revenue. So these benefits for the firm is hasil revenue, and cost for the firm is expenditure. It's a systematic process for calculating and comparing benefit and cost of a project for two purposes. So this thing we call it as cost benefit analysis, a systematic process yang systematic dalam mengira for calculating and comparing benefit and cost dan membandingkan faedah dan cost bagi dua projek yang berbeza. Okay, to determine if it is a sound investment, justification, feasibility, untuk menentukan sama ada sesuatu projek itu mempunyai nilai pelaburan. Number 2 is to see how it's compared with alternate project, ranking, priority, or assignments. CBA ini membantu untuk kita membuat ranking kedudukan. Kalau ada 3 projek, which one is the best project, the second project, and the third project. So how to rank by using the CBA, cost benefit analysis. There's 9 steps in CBA, cost benefit analysis. The first one is specify the set of alternative projects. Second, decide whose benefit and cost counts the standing. Number 3 is identify the impact categories, catalog them, and select measurements indicator. Number 4, predict the impact quantitatively over the life of the project. Monetize attached dollar value to all impacts, and also discount benefit and cost to obtain present value, the PV. And number 7, compute the net present value NPV of each alternative bagi setiap alternatif pilihan yang ada. And number 8 is perform sensitivity analysis, itu menjalankan analysis sensitive. And number 9, make recommendations. Number 9 is how to make a decision. Either the project should be continued or the project should be taken or what. So the cost benefit analysis akan membantu untuk kita membuat cadangan atau recommendations. Okay, we go one by one. We just summarize here. The step number 1 is to specify the set of alternative project. We need to consider another alternative. Typically, we can analyze only a few alternatives. Maybe it's less than 6. Means there's 6 alternatives for certain project. Project A, Project B, Project C, Project D, Project E, and Project F. Then we choose the best one, the ranking. Number 2, decide whose benefit and cost count. Must decide who has standing, whose benefit and cost should be included. Normally, federal government take only national benefits and cost into account. But the local government only consider benefit and cost to local residents and ignore higher levels of government. Maksudnya kalau di Majlis Pembadaran Tawau, mereka hanya consider benefit itu di kalangan penduduk Tawau saja. tidak akan fikir pasal penduduk Sabah ataupun penduduk Malaysia. They ignore. Number 3, identify the impact categories, catalog them, and select measurements indicator. Benefit impacts categories. Mana kata kita sendiri yang wujudkan kategori kesan faedah tersebut. The cost impact category, the category for the cost, some relevant impact were omitted. Ada sebahagian impact yang relevant pada impact kita dikecualikan. For example, here is health impact from automobile emissions, impact on wildlife populations, changes in scenic beauty, and cost of the land. Ini adalah antara impact yang kita kecualikan kerana dia memerlukan sesuatu yang more details to run the CBA. CBA interested only in project impacts that affect the utility of individual withstanding. Impacts that not have any value to human beings are not counted. Human beings are not counted. The impact on wildlife population is not related to the human beings. This is applies only when human beings have the relevant knowledge and information to make rational valuation. The choice of measurements indicator depends on data availability and ease of monetizations. Mana kata setiap kategori ini diwujudkan berdasarkan data, kebolehdapatan data dan juga kemudahan atau mudahnya untuk meletakkan sesuatu nilai. Number 4, predict the impact quantitatively over the life of the project. Quantify all impact in each time period. Must make prediction for all alternative. For each year, for each category. Jika kita ada 3 alternatif, dan kita mesti buat prediction for 3 alternatif yang ada bagi setiap tahun, bagi setiap category. In practice, predicting impact is very important but also very difficult. Why? Because project is unique, have a long time horizon, relationship among variables are complex. This is the reason. Number 5, monetize, attach a value to all impacts. Has to monetize each unit time saved, life saved, and accident avoidance. Value and output is typically measured in terms of willingness to pay. So how to put a value? Normally we run a survey and ask their willingness to pay. Number 6, discount benefit and cost to obtain present value. Aggregate the benefit and costs that arise in different years. Future benefit and costs are discounted relative to present benefit and cost in order to obtain their present value PV. 2 reasons for discount. These are opportunity costs to the resources used in a project, and also the second reason is most people prefer to consume now rather than later. How to calculate the present value benefit and present value cost? Here the benefit is divided 1 plus S power of T, which for S is referred to the discount rate and is referred to the project life, normally in years. Number 7, step 7 is compute the net present value of each alternative. The net present value is equal present value of benefits minus present value of cost. Basic decision rule for single alternative project versus status quo. Adopt the project if its NPV is positive. If the NPV is positive, so adopt means you need to run the project. If the NPV is negative, you need to don't run the project. Basic decision rule when more than one alternative project versus status quo. Select the project with the largest NPV. Mana kata projek yang punya nilai paling besar, NPV yang paling besar, itu projek yang perlu dipilih. Before making a final recommendation, sensitivity analysis should be conducted. Step number 8. Deal with uncertainty. Considerable uncertainty about both the predicted impacts and the appropriate monetary valuation of each unit of the impact. Sometimes we overestimate the value, sometimes we underestimate the value. Sometimes we cannot see the impact from our perspective. For example, he is uncertain about the predicted number of lives saved and appropriate dollar value to place on a statistical life saved. Second example, ascertain about the appropriate social discount rate. And it's 3%, 4%, 5%. How to put the social discount rate. And lastly is number 9. Step number 9 is make a recommendation. Recommend the project with the largest NPV, net present value. It is important to note that analysts make recommendation, not decision. We just recommend. We don't do any decision. We don't make any decision. We say the project B is better than project A. It's up to the organization or the company or the firm to decide to make a decision. We only recommend the project. Considerable uncertainty about both the predicted impacts and the price monetary valuation of each unit of the impact. For example, here, uncertain about the predicted number of lives saved and appropriate dollar value to place on statistical lives saved, and also we are uncertain about the appropriate social discount rates. Okay, we go for the next second subtopic, which is the benefits. There's a sample of benefit of transportation project. A benefit is defined as reductions in transportation cost. Mana kata faedah ini ialah didefinisikan sebagai pengurangan kos pengangkutan. So it's benefit. The effect of the project or its user or society at large scale, benefit are measurable and have economic value. The benefit was considered in CBA cost benefit analysis of transportation project. There's 6 plus, they plus more or less is 7 several times vehicle cost, safety or accident reductions, emission reduction, noise effect, economic effects, and others. Okay, what is the benefit in travel times category? It refers to the cost of time spent on transport. Meaning, maksudnya apabila ada rangkaian pengangkutan, dia mengurangkan masa. So, it's benefit to the people. Include cost to the business of the time spent on travel. Benefit from reduced travel time cost. With new transportation project, they reduce the congestion, the negative externality. Travel time saving can also lead to reduction in vehicle operating costs. For example, here, for the time travel, a new lane is added to a freeway, increasing traffic speeds and decreasing delay. And improvement to transit system, reduce waiting time or increase travel time reliability. This one we call it as a benefits of transportation project. Also, benefits come from the vehicle cost. Changes in the cost of owning an operating vehicle resulting from a transportation improvement project. For example, roadway capacity expansion, reduce congestion, delay, which reduce fuel costs. Improvement to alternative modes, public transport, to reduce the automobile travel, decreasing vehicle operating costs. This is the benefit of transportation project. Safety, reduction in traffic accidents rates that result from a transportation project as an economic value. Example, pedestrian bicycle bridge is built, eliminating a dangerous intersection crossing for a pedestrian and bicyclist. A sharp curve in a road is eliminated. Emission reduction, the cost of increased air pollution emissions and the benefits of emission reduction. For example, a transit system converts from diesel to diesel buses to compressed natural gas buses and reduce the emission. And a van pool program is created, reducing total vehicle trip, meaning tak banyak kereta berada di atas jalan raya. Noise effect, the benefits, increase or decrease in noise caused by a transportation improvement project as an economic value. Example here, a new on-ramp is added to a freeway, increasing noise around the on-ramps. A sound wall is built between a busy street and a residential neighborhood to reduce noise in the neighborhoods. And other benefits in terms of from the economic perspective, economic effects, Various impacts such as productivity, there's also a benefit. Increase in productivity, employment means there's more jobs, business activity, increase in number of doing business, property values, increase the housing price, for example, and investment. Transport projects that improve overall accessibility and reduce transportation costs tend to increase economic productivity and developments. For example, here, a new highway or public transport services increase a community access to other areas. Then this may increase economy of scale, meaning the good is very cheap, the lower the production cost, meaning higher productivity than lower cost per unit of output. Another example is improved accessibility may increase workers' ability to access education and employment opportunities. And example number three is new transportation links between city and ports and new types of intermodal facilities and services at those locations and make it possible for new patterns of international trade to develop. And lastly is others benefit. For example, construction can create its own negative benefits. For example, here a lane widening project along a freeway increase peak period congestions. And another example, transport project can have various impact on wildlife habits, hydrology, water flow, and water quality, including direct impacts. A road is construction through the middle of an animal habitat impending animal movement through the area. And now we go for the cost of transportation project. Number three is defined. Cost of transport is defined as the resources such as land, labor, and material expended on the project. Costs are considered negative benefits. Costs are generally easier to measure than benefits and easier to value because they represent goods or services that are usually traded for money. Typical costs of transportation improvement project are these four here: initial costs, continuing costs, rehabilitation costs, and the last one is end of project cost. We're going to talk about these four type of costs. Okay, initial cost is a cost that incur during the design and construction process, either the cost of planning, environmental impact reports, project-related staff training, final engineering, land acquisitions, construction costs, equipment and vehicle purchase, and others. We need to perform a sensitivity analysis to determine how higher costs for unanticipated changes to the design will affect the project cost efficiency. Interest costs should not be included in the initial cost. These costs are included implicitly in the discount rate. Okay, the next cost of transportation project is continuing cost. Cost after the facility is completed and while it is in use. For example, the operation cost, traffic management, toll taking, bus operation, terminal operations, also maintenance cost, routine servicing of equipment and facility, repair and clean up required by accidents or adverse weather. And also number three is a rehabilitation cost, infrequent major repairs of facilities such as street resurfacing. Rehabilitation does not typically include reconstruction, which is treated as a project in its own right. Depreciation should not be included in the cost. Future expenditure for replacement should be used instead. And the last one is the rehabilitation cost, include the future cost of repair and equipment beyond routine maintenance. For example, here is uh, paying a road, paving a road with asphalt or tar is being compared with repaving with concrete. The latter has higher initial cost but also has a longer life before it needs rehabilitations. The decision must be made whether to include major rehabilitation within a project scope. If the cost of rehabilitation is generally predictable in advance and the nature of the rehabilitation is very well known, rehabilitation should be included as part of the original project. and the project life extended accordingly. Otherwise, the original project life should extend to the point where rehabilitation will be required and a separate analysis performed at that time. Or there is another one time of cost, end of project costs. Costs that are incurred at the end of project or period of analysis include, for example, the residual value is negative cost representing the expected value in continuing use. Salvage value, a negative cost also, there exists a market for selling the asset after close out, meaning is a cost incurred at the end of the project operation to put the project to bed, assuming the analysis period coincides with the project operation period. For example, here is comparing public ownership and operation of a transit or rail services to contracting with a private operator for services. In the first case, the public agency will have assets with residual and salvage value. For example, rolling stock, rights of way, and facility. At the end of the analysis period, in the second case, it will have no such assets. Most transportation projects such as roads, transit system, and terminal facility are in service for a very long time. End of project cost should be discounted in the same manner as other costs. So for the last subtopic is type of measure. How to calculate actually several measures that typically use summarized benefit cost analysis. For example, you have benefit cost ratio of discounted benefit to discounted cost. Then this one is very familiar. So net present value compulsory, discounted benefit minus discounted cost. Here we already know the present value of benefits minus with the present value of cost. Internal rate of return. Number 3, discount rate for which the net present value of the project is 0. Number 4 is payback periods. Number of years is tax for the cumulative discounted benefits to exceed the cumulative discounted cost. And lastly is other costs, other methods, for example, cost effectiveness, investment ratio, profitability index, break-even analysis, and so on. This is we use in a cost benefit analysis. It depends to the situation. For example, here is an example. The decision is which highway project to construct first. So our goal here is to maximize net public benefits. So we use the benefit cost ratio to be compared across highway projects in order to rank them. Now, second example is whether a new transit road should be instituted. Our goal here is to provide net public benefit also. So type of measure, we use the net present value of the project. Which projects have higher NPV. And now example number 3 is decision. How to spend a given transit maintenance budget. The goal here is to obtain the greatest benefit from the resources available. So we use the type of measure cost effectiveness, meaning the lesser is the best. Cost effectiveness of alternative in order to rank them. The last example here decision is what measure to pursue to lower aircraft noise to require levels to meet noise standard at minimum cost. Also the type of analysis or type of measure here we use the cost effectiveness of alternative in order to rank them. So this is our last lecture. Make sure you do all the quiz, the tutorial, then individual assessment. And your final for your group assignment, make sure you record and submit your presentation, your video presentation before 31st of July. With that, I say thank you for listening and have a good day and enjoy answer your individual assessment. Thank you very much. Bye.